let's talk about that gut reaction. Boom. Look at this artwork. Okay? Of course you're going to have a gut reaction. Okay? Depending on what your personal taste is what your personal gut reaction is going to be. It's kind of like making an art sandwich. Okay? Your gut reaction is the very first thing that you see. Is that first piece of bread on your art sandwich. In this case, we are going for a yummy hamburger. So that's your first bun. Alright? It's not fancy. There's nothing extra on it. We're not talking about onion buns or croissants or anything like that. It's just a plain old hamburger bun. Alright? The very bottom thing is your gut reaction. That's the first thing that's going to happen. But if you add the critical analysis process to that gut reaction, you're going to get a pretty tasty hamburger. So, those steps are to describe the artwork. Okay? Add some veggies in there. Let's see. I know a lot of you probably like your tomatoes, but whenever I have a hamburger, I like something fancy, like some roasted red bell peppers. Put that on there first. Describe. Analyze. That's the meat of the burger right there. Me, I am more partial to like a turkey with feta cheese mixed in type of thing. But that's going to be up to you. Alright? After you analyze, you interpret. That's your cheese. Of course, I like to put cheese inside my patty. So in my case, this is going to be the special sauce. This is my special sauce. And then evaluate. Put that bun on top and put some sesame seeds on there. If you don't like the sesame seeds, whatever. Put you an onion bun on top or something. Then you evaluate and you have your art sandwich. Now let's bite into it. The description is where you're just giving the details about the artwork. That's it. Just the artwork itself. What's the subject matter? What's the medium? Physical attributes. This is not supposed to be there. Not the elements of art. Subject matter, medium, physical attributes. What do you see just off the bat? A line of bottles and vases. Right? That's it. Let's see. The medium is oil on canvas. It's a still life. Alright, so a still life of bottles and vases lined up in a row. There's not much in the background. It's just kind of right there. Physical attributes. Okay, remember your art sandwich. Just the facts, please. Okay, analysis. Think about how the artist organized the elements of art and used the principle of elements of art using the principles of design. Okay, this is where we come into what we learned earlier in the week. Okay, this is the meat of it. This is where you're going to break it down based on the skill set of that artist to use the elements and principles of art. Use the matrix. What's the matrix? I know I gave you the whole matrix thing with a little video before, but let me show you what it is. Here's the matrix. Elements and principles of design matrix. Each element can be used with another element or by itself to create the principles at the top. Okay? You can balance an artwork by repeating colors. And in since doing so, if you're repeating a color, you can also create repetition. Alright, you can use shapes and color to create contrast. You can use texture to create contrast. Right? So, remember what we learned about in that Principles of Art video. You can use the elements to create the principles. So in the case of this artwork, your gut reaction may have thought of boring, right? There's not much going on. There's very few color. It's a very muted color palette, so there's not much going on in the color sense. Okay, let's go back. As far as shape, okay, yes, he uses shape to create repetition, right? And he uses color to create that repetition because he only uses 3 basic colors. The ones that pop out at you the most are the white and the red and the blue on a gray background. So he creates contrast by putting these brighter colors in an overall gray composition. Now value. yeah, there's some value in there, but it doesn't really look like he's trying to make things look three-dimensional. So there's not much space. The space that is used is very shallow. It's right up in your face. A deep space would mean that there was a lot more to this picture. Shallow space, deep space, right? Okay? And texture, there's not much texture, right? So you're focusing on just the things that you see. So in my case here, I'm going to say that he's using shape and color to create repetition and contrast, and thus creates movement of the eye because your eye is moving along the line of the still life items. And in using the same colors and shapes and overall monotone grays, just the same colors, it creates unity. Okay? Unity is always something to strive for. So that's the meat of it. I just broke it down, and you can use this matrix to write out your ideas. Of course, I don't really have my pen out right now, so the next step is interpretation. Now you're ready to share your interpretation of what you think the artist is trying to say. But sometimes you might have to find out more about the time period in which the artist created or the biography of an artist. Okay, so you break it down by what you see, the straight facts, the elements and principles, then you interpret what you think's going on in the artist's mind as they were creating this artwork. Alright, so you may have to do a little Googling. Don't be afraid to Google. Alright? So we might have to Google a little bit about Mr. Morandi and what was going on in Italy during the 1940s. Do you know what was going on in Italy in the 1940s? And the final step is to take that gut reaction, add in what you've learned with the analysis, interpretation, the historical information that you found, and then evaluate or judge the work. Express your opinion about the success or the failure of this artwork. And that's going to be your top bun with your sesame seeds. And be specific. Okay, those sesame seeds are small. Alright, we need specifics, not just, I think it's ugly. That's not good. You need to support your evaluation with what you found in the description, analysis, and interpretation. Following the steps of description, analysis, interpretation, and evaluation helps us organize our thoughts and gain a deeper understanding and appreciation of a particular artwork